Tyler thoughts
On Dunkirk?
Yeah, or before Dunkirk, before we see it.
I mean, the last thing that we saw from him was Interstellar, and it was like, stop zeroing in on my face. I know that's what you're doing.
Okay.
I'm done. No, you've lost your privileges.
I watched like a few reviewers and stuff, but so I have a little bit of an idea, but I do like that it's only an hour 47. I like that. I think more movies should be shorter.
Dunkirk. We seen it. I thought it was a very well-made movie, and like that cannot be taken away from it. Is the fact that it is, as you know, Chris Nolan is always a prestigious director.
Yep.
However, this movie may be my least favorite of the Nolan movies I've seen.
Sure.
Purely because I want to latch onto a character. And this movie is very much about the event of Dunkirk.
Yeah.
And not really about writing or the characters or anything like that.
Well, I mean, it's about writing. I mean, you're talking about like dialogue, I guess?
Yeah, there's not much dialogue in the movie.
No, there isn't.
I mean, it's well done. It's very, like... everything about this movie is grounded in realism. Yeah. Every single aspect of it.
One of the most realistic war movies out there.
I'd say so. And it's just like start to finish tension.
Yeah.
Throughout.
That's another really interesting thing is the pacing we talked about when we left the theater was very much... It wasn't like over the top. It wasn't like super actiony or anything. But it was like the pacing was always like... There was always tension the entire movie. There was always like... Shit was about to hit the fan or was hitting the fan. It was always on that that level. And you could never relax.
There's not a lot of a whole lot of things to spoil.
Yeah.
With this movie, I don't think.
Yeah.
It's just the experience of watching it.
Right. Because we always do spoilers, but there really isn't like huge plot points that happen where it's like, you know.
The only big thing that I thought was really cool and really well done about it, every time a main character dies, nothing dramatic happens.
Yep.
Literally just they're gone.
Yeah.
That's it.
I really liked that when they were in the air and stuff. And like Tom Hardy would just kind of like look down and he would just see like someone he was talking to just 2 seconds ago. And they're just like going down.
Dropping and he just looks at it and then he looks right back
at it. He's like, okay, that's it. That's what's happening. You know. There was not a main character. There was it kind of went between the beach, the guy on the boat going out to Dunkirk, and then Tom Hardy in the air and stuff.
Yeah.
And I understand and I agree with your point about the character thing and all that stuff and wanting to latch on to somebody, but you know, for me, it was I would say it was a refreshing movie because not many movies are like that.
Right.
And it was not a conventional war movie or even a conventional film at all. So like it was just kind of nice to sit down and watch something that was just like very different than what you would kind of usually expect, you know, and just kind of like appreciate it for how unique it was.
No,
I
agree with that. It's just this movie, again, great movie, but it's just not what I'm looking for personally in a movie.
Yeah,
but it completely objectively, you know, fantastic film. No way to take that away.
Chris Nolan always makes quality films, dude.
He does,
and also
such a style, dude.
It was like his style. Well, of course, he always like all his movies have a lot of realism in them. You know, even like his more like outlandish ideas, like the Batman movies. You know, all about realism. Interstellar. It's a crazy idea, but it's also like
Memento.
And you could be like, all right, that could actually happen in this world that we live in. You know, he ties stuff back into our world. And even like the first shot of the movie when they're walking, all the soldiers are walking down the street and the pamphlets are falling down from the sky. I was like, all right, that's like a Nolan shot. It just feels like a Nolan movie already. You know, just his style is unmistakable.
It is. It's incredibly atmospheric.
Yeah. He likes, and I enjoyed that it was very little on the dialogue, because that's like the roots of film. You know, it's a show don't tell.
Yeah.
You know, all about the visuals, all about visual storytelling. You know, no one's explaining anything to you. Dialogue, it's just all happening.
Yeah, the only like real explanation in the movie you get is the beginning. Like there's a little bit of
Text,
a synopsis as to the situation, and then each time it pans to a different situation, it just says where they are.
Yeah.
And the 3 different vignettes that it'll show you through the movie.
The air, the sea, and the beach, the mole. He said.
Yeah.
As always, Chris Nolan always has like really emotional endings that really get you.
That ending got me juiced, dude.
Yeah,
like that last shot of Tom Hardy in front of the plane. That was the one.
And the plane coming down, and then him getting out. It's on fire, and then the Germans come up to him.
And him reading the Churchill speech.
Churchill speech on the train, and like the music, and like he always has such emotional, powerful endings to his movies.
It reminded me a lot of the ending of The Dark Knight.
Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises both have very like gut punching,
grandiose
and like
endings.
I felt satisfied because the movie was such a ride in many ways, but having an ending like that felt satisfying rather than if it had just ended.
Yeah.
You know? I'm like, ugh, like that was weird.
It felt like a fitting conclusion to the movie that it was. It was very good.
The runtime was like perfect.
Beautiful.
Perfect runtime.
Hour 47, you said?
Yep.
Yeah, that's
perfect for this kind of movie.
Yes.
If it had been 2 hours, even or more,
it would have been arduous.
I don't even know.
For a movie that plods this way and a movie that, gives you this experience, it was like he could have done nothing smarter than to give it that runtime.
Very happy it was under 2 hours. And also, people were kind of freaking out about the whole PG-13 thing, but it didn't matter.
No, it didn't matter.
It didn't matter.
No, and it's like the dialogue sounded appropriate for the time.
Yep.
The violence, I mean, people died and stuff.
And you saw it was gruesome. But it wasn't like overly gory.
No.
Or it was realistic though.
It was like the PG-13 that didn't intend to be PG-13. And that was the issue that I think a lot of people were thinking was like, oh, they're doing it PG-13 so as to make more money or have more like a bigger audience. Yeah. But I don't think younger people are going to be spending a lot of money to go see this movie. I think this is going to be for people who know about Dunkirk.
Yeah, or who are into Chris Nolan films. And I think that I really think that Christopher Nolan just made his movie he didn't even think about the rating.
Right.
He just made the movie, and when it was done, it just got that PG-13 rating because it didn't need an R rating. And he's like, okay, whatever. Who cares?
It felt like how a war movie should feel like. And that's the one thing that I will say is although I wish I had more character to latch on to in war, that's not you don't,
I like that, the facelessness.
There is a level of facelessness even to the main characters. I honestly don't remember most of their names except for the blonde kid. His name was Peter.
Did we even
hear their names?
Get many names? I don't think we even got that many names.
I don't know.
And if we did, it was like a one-time thing.
And very passing,
Yeah. So I like that. I don't remember any names. No one
The only reason I remember that blonde kid's name is because his father was like, "I hear you, Peter."
Yeah.
Peter. Yeah.
There was it wasn't funny, but I had kind of a little bit of a chuckle earlier on in the film when the main dude on the beach was going to take a dump.
Yeah.
And he was squatting, and he was sitting there in the sand, and then he saw the guy
burying a body,
and then he was pull his pants up. I was like, damn, people just shitting on the beach, not wiping,
It's what they have to do.
That's what they have to do. But I was just like, that sucks. That's the worst part about war right there.
Yeah, no wiping.
No wiping. You just
I bet.
What's up?
I mean, I'm sure there are smarter people than us who can tell us, that they carry toilet paper around. It's a great Chris Nolan movie. Chris Nolan doesn't make bad movies.
Yeah, he doesn't.
If you want to see a very different war movie and a very well done, very realistic one, then this is it.
Yeah, and the only thing I would say, because I heard this before going in, and honestly, I think it helped me with seeing the movie and not like hating it or anything, or not like feeling disappointed, is just don't expect like a main character or to latch on to a character. Just go in and expecting to see this event play out. You know? And because I went in knowing that, and I think it helped me. Like,
definitely helped me too. We talked about it before.
If I had gone in with other expectations, I would have probably been disappointed by the movie. I would have been like, blah, blah, blah. But knowing that definitely made it a better experience for me.
I think so for me too. Yeah. So
definitely go see it. I would recommend seeing it.
I would recommend this is one that should be seen in theater. I think it's very big.
IMAX if you can too.
Yes.
Because Chris Nolan always does IMAX, always takes advantage of IMAX.
Believes in it.
So yeah, we can get to see it in IMAX, but it's fine.
Yes.
All right, that wraps it up.